Hey guys, Jebber Game & Jaws here, coming to you wanting to do a review of a game that is very beloved of mine, and that I think not too many people have talked about it on YouTube, which is surprising to me, and that is Shenmue 2. Talk a little bit about just my history with Shenmue. I played the first one on the Dreamcast way back in the day. When I first played it, I didn't like it. I was like, not interested. I thought it was boring. You know, a lot of people had that reaction. It was something that we hadn't experienced before. And then it was sometime later I got into it, and I was like, oh, it clicked, you know, and I understood this is really sweet. This is like a huge open world. Like, you can interact with everything. You can do anything that you want to. You can go to the arcade and play old Sega Genesis games if you want to. Lots of really, really sweet stuff like that. Shenmue 2 I didn't actually play until about 6 months ago. So way later. Let's see, Shenmue 2 was not released in the US on the Dreamcast. In the US it was only released on the Xbox. However, back when it was released, I was in GameStop and they actually had it, the PAL version. For some reason GameStop had brought the PAL version to here, and I saw it and I picked it up for a gift for my little brother Noah, because he actually owned the Dreamcast and he liked Shenmue a lot, so I gave that to him for Christmas, I believe. We don't have that copy anymore. I wish that we do have it on the Xbox, and actually I would prefer the Xbox version anyways, because it has the English voice acting, which is not very good, but that's part of the charm of Shenmue. So if you've played it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So Shenmue 2, I wanted to get into because I just absolutely loved it. I played it about 6 months ago, and it really stuck with me. Put down some notes here that I'll be referring to, so if you see me looking over there, that's what I'm doing. I wanted to talk about the main character, Ryo Hazuki. Just also give a spoiler alert. I will be talking about plot points, so if you don't want to hear the spoilers, you're warned. So Ryo, in the first game, is searching for Lan Di, who at the very beginning of the first game killed Ryo's dad. Lan Di is a powerful martial artist, and Ryo is also been trained in martial arts and is pretty powerful himself, but he's still very young. At the end of the first game, Ryo is heading to China, so that's where Shenmue 2 picks up, is Ryo pulling into Hong Kong on a big old boat. And I really like Shenmue 2. I actually prefer it to the first game. It just seemed way bigger. The depth that you could go wasn't quite as much as the original Shenmue, but there was just so much more to it that it kind of makes sense that they scaled back a little bit on your ability to interact with every little thing. But hey guys, part 2 of my Shenmue 2 review here. So, Ryo is in Hong Kong looking for Lan Di, who killed his dad. Ryo is a really cool character to me. He's very clean cut, you know, he's got his nerdy little jeans, and he's got, you know, his shirt always tucked in, and his hair is always like in the same way, and I don't know, he's got this very clean cut, very serious demeanor about him. He's very focused on revenge. He's very driven by that. At the same time, he's a very good person. He helps out people in need. He's very strong and yet kind at the same time. He, you know, in the first game, there's one point where this little girl finds a stray cat, and you can go get tofu to feed it and other things, and you can check on it every day. It's the little details like that. He's very understanding and forgiving, but also he's very severe at points when he needs to be. I really like Ryo as a character a lot. In the second game, he definitely gets some more development as far as, well, we get some more insight into him, because he reminds me a lot of Luke Skywalker in The Empire Strikes Back, where he's frustrated, he wants to move forward, he thinks he knows exactly what he needs to do. So Ryo is looking for this martial arts master, and he's there at the dojo, you know, asking for this person, and he's getting mad, and he's yelling, and this woman walks up, and he yells at her and tells her she doesn't know what she's talking about, and comes to turn out that she was the martial arts master. So again, kind of like the Yoda effect. And she also doesn't teach him everything that he wants to know right away. He has to do a lot of small, menial, patience-producing tasks, to get there, which were really cool, by the way. Some of those, that brings me into kind of the gameplay elements, but some of those were so awesome. One thing that I loved about Shenmue 2 is there was just so many different gameplay elements. There was so much to do at different points that it just felt fresh the whole way through. Um, let's see, the fighting, for one thing, is awesome. I'm not a big fan of fighting games. I'll play them here and there. They're fun. I like Smash Brothers, kind of. But part 3 of Shenmue 2 review here. Anyways, I was talking about the gameplay of Shenmue 2 and the fact that it has a really good fighting system. For me, it worked really well because all the fighting moves are listed out, like hit right, B, A, and it'll do this move and it'll do that move, and you can practice them to make them stronger. I liked having it all laid out for me. A lot of times when I play fighting games, I feel like I'm button mashing because I am. I'm sure that a lot of people will get more serious about fighting games and actually learn them, but I just haven't done a whole lot of that. But anyways, I loved the fighting in Shenmue 2. I thought it was really fun. Another thing that they implemented that I thought they did really well, that was a lot of fun, was one point you're sneaking after a character, so there's like a stealth element. That was really cool, unexpected. There's one point where Li Xiao Tao, the master who you're trying to get to tell you all these things so that you can find Lan Di, she has you trying to catch leaves, which that to me was just like, wow. I'm in 2016, I'm sitting here playing this, and I'm blown away because it's just so meticulously detailed. It's beautiful. It's amazing. So I'm sitting there, watching the leaves fall and trying to catch them out of the air one by one. It's just so immersive as far as like, I imagine that's what you would feel like as a martial art person. Another thing that was really fun was carrying books. They had you do like a menial task, and you really feel the effect of the menial task because it lasts a while. There's all these books. You have to carry them from the inside of the library to the outside so that one of these kids can clean it. And this is something that you have to do every day. So, I don't know how many days it was, maybe 5, maybe 10. I honestly can't remember. But it's just so cool because it makes you feel like there's such a lived-in world. That's one thing that Shenmue just does so well. Even the fact that when you get to Hong Kong, you find a room to rent, and every day you have to pay a certain amount. So during the day that you're playing, you're moving the story along, but you're also figuring out how to make some money so that you can pay for your rent the next morning. I just love that. It's awesome. Shenmue, also the gameplay, you really have to slow yourself down in order to enjoy it. It's not a fast-paced action game, although there are definitely some like fast-paced action parts that are a lot of fun. But in general, like, Shenmue can actually be a calming experience for me. It forces me to be calm, be in a slower state, like knowing that you have to do this in order to achieve that, and it's going to take some time. And moving the books, I thought, was perfect for that. Some other notable things. Let me look at my list real quick. I loved working the part-time job. There's this little game called Lucky Hit, and so you stand on a street corner and you yell out to people that are passing by, "Hey, you want to play a Lucky Hit?" And people will come up and play, and you actually play against them. So really fun. You get to keep some of the winnings. So if you work at this stand the whole day but you don't win, you don't make any money. So I thought that was just really, really cool and really fun. It got really annoying at some points, but totally worth it. There were some really cool story points that kind of hit me hard. I'll mention one. Rio is kind of going through fighting all these horrible, scummy, they're not drug lords, but that kind of general feel. Just like people in the underbelly of the Hong Kong society. And I can't remember exactly why for the plot he was doing that, but I think it was like if he beats 3 people. He's able to face the Grandmaster, and that guy is somehow tied to Landy, so it's all for the purpose of moving him closer to his dad. There's one point where you walk in and there's this lady fighting against people, and she's undefeated for a long time, and when she beats someone, she actually pushes them off of this ledge and they die. And you watch her do this a couple times. And so Rio has to choose to fight her. And obviously she's really good. He's taking a humongous risk in doing this. He's going to die if he loses. Of course, with the game, you do win. And Rio doesn't push her over. And everybody's expecting, there's a huge crowd of people expecting Rio to knock her over. And she's expecting it also. And he doesn't. And it was a very powerful scene. You could just feel the effect that it was having on her even. That's even more shaming. Not only did she lose, she then was left not being killed. And she had just minutes before that pushed someone else off. So that hit me hard. I thought that was a really cool, just, I don't know, gameplay, story, whatever you want to call it. It's just deep, and it makes you stop and it makes you think, and it also just kind of shows something about who Rio is. One of my absolute, well, not one of my favorite parts, my absolute favorite part of Shenmue 2 was actually right towards the end. There's a character who comes from a small town, and it's contrasted by the fact that Rio is also from a small town, but this girl makes Rio look like he's a big city guy. Like, she is from the boondocks. She is from, like, way out. And it was very interesting going from Hong Kong and the hustle and the bustle to walking with her. When I first heard about having to go to her town, the game tells you that it's going to be like a 2 or 3 day hike. And right when I heard it, I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be actual in-game time. It's going to be a long track. How are they going to do this? Are they just going to, like, put you there? But I'm thinking this is Shenmue. Probably not. You're probably going to have to actually walk there. And I was just thinking this is going to be so lame and so boring, and I'm just going to hate this, and I'm going to feel like tortured all the way through. Not at all. It ended up being my absolute favorite part of the game. It was beautiful. The terrain on the way out was gorgeous. The sun and the greenery that surrounded you, the nature, the flowers, the animals. Not to mention that you're actually traveling with this person who grew up in that setting, and her whole demeanor, her whole philosophy on life, everything about her is just completely different. It's slower, and she appreciates a whole lot of things, and she's not naive, but she's innocent, maybe. And a very cool, their discussions were awesome. I was never bored. I never felt like it was dragging on. I would actually like to play the game again if for only experiencing that walk again. And it was long, and it was really cool, and they stop along the way, and you make camp, and she tells you stories about her people, and the whole time you're learning about her people through her as you're on the way to this village. And by the time I got there, I was like, I want to meet these people. Unfortunately, you don't get to. Shenmue 2 ends, and Shenmue 3 was never made. And I don't know how many years ago. It's been over a decade, I'm pretty sure, that Shenmue 2 was released. And Shenmue 3 has never been made. However, finally it is being made. Thank God. There was a Kickstarter, and they're doing that. And the fact that Shenmue 3 is going to be on the PlayStation 4 is just something to celebrate. I am super, super excited. I'm hoping that it's going to be really, really good. The fact that Shenmue 3 is coming out was actually the thing that tipped the scale for me about whether to buy a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One. I had actually completely decided to buy an Xbox One, and then that same week, the news about Shenmue 3 being a PlayStation 4 exclusive came out, and
It was an automatic flip. So I'm actually glad that I have, though, because it's enabled me to experience games that I hadn't played before, like The Last of Us and the Uncharted games, and ultimately I think it was a good choice. So anyways, guys, those are my Shenmue 2 memories and a little bit of a review analysis. I would love to hear from you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, do a video response. Tell me about your history with Shenmue 2, what you think about it. Are you getting excited for Shenmue 3? If you want to talk about Shenmue 1, that's great. Anything. If you want to talk about anything else completely not related to Shenmue, that's fine. So, alright, guys. Peace out. Hope you